This is Boxing Tickets, and we're here at the final press conference for the Conlan Boxing Show on Saturday night. Delighted to be joined with Gerard Hughes. I know we done obviously an interview in December, obviously a very late addition obviously to the card. I think you probably have to thank James Freeman sort of for that one.
Well, there was talk of me getting on the card, and then it was him and Han. I didn't know, and then Paulie just texted me and says you're on. So Paulie was pushing to get me on the card, and then I think obviously with James falling out, it probably worked out that I was on for definite. But for about a month, it was him and Han. So that's why I was training, and before that there was a date I was training for, so I was in camp ready to go and just took it.
I guess obviously, as I sort of speaking to Rudy there on, obviously about your fight in December, like when you probably thought, the opportunity you had, obviously fighting in Matchroom and DAZN, they then think it, Matchroom aren't here, but Conlan Boxing obviously signed a deal with DAZN, that your next fight will be on DAZN again, and now it's mind blowing.
It's class, it is. It's good. Listen, it's a good platform to be on. Even the sort of the machine Matchroom is being on that show the last time, and the hype it brings, you know what I mean. And then I being on it with DAZN here in my next fight. So, again, I can't thank Claudia enough. For he really does back me, he really does push me, and I can't thank the Conlans either because they've given me an opportunity. So, but I think it's them put me on this is more of a long-term plan. Obviously, there's going to be a fight also on the card that we're all interested in, myself included. So, I think there's a plan obviously to do that, the winner of Rudy and Connor down the line. So, I think it makes sense for me to be on the card because then it sort of builds that fight. Do you know what I mean?
I also want to get your thoughts obviously on the fight. I guess everybody is sort of seeing you on the card, but probably going to that conclusion thinking this is you going to keep busy fight, obviously to face the winner. Do you sort of, I guess you've shared rounds obviously with Rudy last time out. Like, how do you see the fight going? Like, I'm sort of looking at the size difference, but maybe looking at Connor's amateur experience. Like, have you sort of thought too much, and obviously who you think's going to win the fight?
I haven't thought too much on it, but listen, Rudy can't be overlooked. Do you know what I mean? He's stepped up numerous times without question, and he's give great accounts of himself every single time. You know what I mean? So he can't be overlooked. Again, you can look at the amateur experience, but it's two different sports, mate. Two different sports. The gloves, everything's different. It's like badminton and tennis, two different sports, and obviously the experience will help. But again, I think Rudy's experience is getting overlooked. Rudy's been twice in the SSA arena. Do you know what I mean? A big high pressure fight, 50-50 fights every time, and. One thing I found Rudy was he doesn't look up, but he's very long and gangly, and it's only until you get in there against him you find that out with 8-ounce gloves on. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, me personally, I don't really care what way the fight goes, but obviously to make it clean, I'd like Rudy to win, and then we can just do the rematch. But Ian, listen, you can't knock anybody. It's a 50-50 fight for a reason. You know what I mean? Anybody can win it. Anything can happen. But I would actually say Rudy's going in this favourite, just with his professional experience. He's very, very big featherweight, massive featherweight, and he doesn't look it, but he's unorthodox. He is unorthodox, So yeah, that's what I think of the fight, and I can't wait to watch it.
Obviously you teamed up with Pete Taylor. I guess obviously the proof sort of in the pudding. It seems to be a new phrase they say today, proof's in the pudding. I must be thinking of pudding somewhere. But obviously you've linked up with Pete Taylor now. Obviously the link up with D obviously disappeared. Like, what are we going to see different from you this time out? Obviously, I know that you and Rudy both made mistakes obviously in the fight. Like, is it just sort of, I guess you haven't had a long time to sort of prepare sort of from that fight, so is it just sort of trying to taper up on wee things, and obviously then more will come further in the line?
Yeah, I mean, it's just giving me back the basics. Do you know what I mean? Like, in that Rudy fight, I had my hands down. I was taking punches clean. Do you know what I mean? You don't do that. I didn't really use my feet either. I just sort of tried to hold the centre of the ring and just take punches and give punches, which it's alright saying that, but that's not boxing. Do you know what I mean? And being down in that stable with Pete, they're all. It's no sort of thing that Pete's boxers are all very, very technical, and I'm learning every day down there, and even sort of. We were even on the pads and stuff. I can see a difference. My feet. I'm working my feet more, and keeping it basic and keep my hands up. Do you know what I mean? And that's just the short term sort of things that Pete's been working with me. I haven't really actually. There's things still that we're doing down there that I haven't really got the grip of yet. And I think definitely the difference that he's going to make is going to bring out the best in me. And yeah, I just can't wait to even go in here on Saturday night and put a bit of that into play. Do you know what I mean?
It's crazy to think it, obviously, sometimes people just think of Pete Taylor now and obviously don't think of the history there. Like, you're being trained by obviously Katie Taylor's father, it's like our best female ever, probably our best athlete ever in Ireland ever. Like, do you sort of start to pinch yourself at moments? Obviously, you're training under Pete.
Aye, but I mean, as you said there about the experience, even talking to him, even having chats about the fight here on Saturday, like just stuff that he reminds you of that it just comes with experience. Do you know what I mean? He's experienced it at all levels, the Haas levels, multiple times, and he's a great stable down there, and it's a great team because they're all willing to help you, and they're all like even this fight here, on Saturday, they're all giving you tips. They're all, telling you what to watch out for and what to do, and it's in detail. The understanding that I've sort of got from them, I've never had before. And I think it definitely, it's needed. I've seen a big change, and as you said, training under Pete, the experience is experience second to none. He's a great stable too.
Speaking of experience, obviously car journeys with Sean McComb. I'm sure there's plenty of laughs had in the car up and down up to Dublin.
Sean's nuts, but you know what? It's the way it has to be. Because the car journey can be monotonous, and if you're enjoying it, then that's half the battle, isn't it? And that's what I'm saying. You go down the road and you're having cracked down the road, and then the way up the road you're buzzing even more because you've done your training session and you're going back up the road. But it's great. It's great even in the gym. All the lads are great crack. You've Screamer there and Pete and Sean and everybody, and Jazza, and everybody just sort of like mixes well. But once training starts, like that's one thing Pete's very good at doing. Like there's a switch, and once. There's no bullshit. Once he says once it's ready to train, you're ready to train, and then once you stop training again, it's back in that again. So it's great, mate.
I guess you're just looking forward. Obviously, like it's a former Rudy opponent as well. Obviously, you haven't Saturday to look fash. So is it sort of? Are you looking at? Was the idea behind that? Obviously, they'd look better. Obviously. Than Rudy obviously did against him. Obviously, what was the reason behind the look fash? I guess was that probably more a potty thing and picking the opponent.
That was just the opponent to give. It was meant to be a guy from Liverpool. And then he pulled out, and then they've got him. I don't think there's been a link to go, do a better job than Rudy, because again, it's boxing styles are different. Every style's different. You can't do fight maths. Do you know what I mean? So listen, I'm going to get in there and do what I do, and that's it. You can't look at other fighters and go, I want to beat him. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this guy, he's been dropping people and stuff, so he's not, and he fought Connor Kerr, so he's no mug. Do you know what I mean? He's a tough guy. So listen, and every fight, no fight's guaranteed. Do you know what I mean? So I'm just going to go in and do what I've been learning in the gym, put it into practice, and that's all Pete wants from me, to do what we're doing in the gym, in the ring, because it's very hard. You can do all this stuff in the gym, and then when you get in the ring, it all folds. So just getting used to doing what he tells me to do in that environment.
Wilson, thanks very much for your time. Obviously go well on Saturday night, and I'm sure we'll catch up with you afterwards.
Definitely, Morty. Thank you, man.